Good morning, students. We are going to continue chapter 7 of NCERT, that is control and coordination. Students, in our previous module, we have discussed phytohormones, that is plant hormone. Now it's time to discuss the coordination part in human body, which is going to work along with the nervous system to bring about coordinated growth of the body. So, the main agenda of this module is to understand the coordination part, which is being achieved by the secretion of the hormones by various glands. So, let's continue. Why do we need chemical communication at all? As you know, the animals which have a nervous system, they have nerves impulses being generated and communicated throughout the body. So there is a time lag between the generation of the one impulse and the next impulse. It takes some time, and the impulse which is being generated stay for a very brief period of the time. So we need one sort of communication which is referred as chemical communication, which can stay for a longer and can immediately respond to a particular stimuli. So that's what we require, chemical communication along with that of the nervous system. Now comes to the chemical coordination. As you know, the chemical communication is mediated by the hormone secretion. Hormones can be steroidal hormone or proteinaceous hormone. So hormones are being secreted by the endocrine glands, which constitute endocrine system. So the two system, that is nervous system and endocrine system, is going to work in a very coordinated manner to achieve the holistic growth of the body, and two systems together are referred as neuroendocrine system. Now comes to the endocrine glands. Endocrine glands are those glands which do not possess any sort of ducts, and they release their secretion directly into the blood, and that secretion ultimately going to control the various activities in the body. Hormones are going to be released in a very small amount, but they are going to control a major function in the body. The term hormone was introduced by Ballis and Starling, and animal hormones do not bring about directional movement as being achieved by the plant hormone or the phytohormones, but they are going to control the body design of the body. They are meant to control the body design and various physiological activities of the body. So the main motto of the animal hormones is to maintain the body design, not in a directional manner, but it can be non directional as well, and various metabolic activities. Now comes to the various glands located in the uh, body part of the male and female. In the head region, that is in the brain, we have a pineal gland, pituitary gland, and hypothalamus. In the neck region, we have thyroid, parathyroid, and in the upper thoracic region, we have thymus, and in the lower abdominal section, we have adrenaline and pancreas, and in male, we have testes. Rest of the glands are similar in male and female, only the gametic part is different. In male we have testes, in female we have ovaries. Now comes to the characteristics of the hormones. Hormones are going to be secreted in a very small amount by the endocrine system being present in the body. They pour the secretion directly into the blood, and it is going to be transported along the circulatory system of the body. They act as a chemical messenger. They are going to act on a particular organ of the body which is referred as target organ. So that's how it is going to coordinate various activity of the body in terms of growth and various physiological function. Now we need to understand the difference between nervous system and endocrine system. Nervous system comprises of various neurons. Endocrine system made up of various glands being present in a various part of the body. Nervous system transmit messages in the form of electrical impulses. In endocrine system, the messages are going to be transmitted in the form of hormones. Messages transmitted along the nerve fibers. In endocrine system, the messages are going to be transmitted through the bloodstream. And in nervous system, the messages are going to be transmitted in a very quick manner. But messages in the endocrine system are going to travel at a very slower pace. In nervous system, messages last for a very short period of time, but in endocrine system, the messages are going to last for a long. Now comes to the hypothalamus. Hypothalamus gland is present in the brain, and it's going to produce releasing hormone, inhibitory hormone. The function of the hypothalamus is to regulate the secretion of the hormones from the pituitary gland. Hence, hypothalamus is going to control the pituitary hormones. Now comes to the pituitary gland. Pituitary glands are the pea-shaped gland located at the base of the brain, and they are being considered as a master gland. It is going to control the activities of various glands actually. Now, one of the hormone being secreted is the growth hormone, GH hormone, which controls the growth of the bones and the muscles. The two disorders, that is below secretion and above secretion, leads to the dwarfism and gigantism. Dwarfism is being caused by the fewer or the lesser secretion of the growth hormone, that is deficiency of the growth hormone, and gigantism is being caused by the excessive secretion of the growth hormone from childhood. Now comes to the pineal gland. Pineal gland is located in the brain at the dorsal side of the encephalon. It produces one hormone that is referred as melatonin. It's going to control the reproductive development of the body along with the wake and sleep cycles. And various seasonal functions of the body is being controlled by the pineal gland. Pineal gland is quite developed in the monkeys, but in human it is quite rudimentary in structure. Now comes to the thyroid gland. Thyroid gland is located in the neck, ventral part of the larynx, and it is one of the largest gland of the endocrine system. It produces hormone that is triiodothyronine and thyroxine. The main hormone that is thyroxine is very important. And thyroxine hormone regulates the metabolism of carbohydrate, proteins, fats in the body. So the hyposecretion, that is excessive secretion, led to the creatinine in children and myxedema in adults. It causes the IQ disorders in the children as well as in adults. Hypersecretion, that is less secretion of the thyroxine, led to the goiter, that is bulging from that of the neck, and it can be cured with the help of the iodine rich diet, especially the salt we take in our diet. It should be iodized so that goiter can be avoided. Now comes to the parathyroid gland. These are two pairs of small oval-shaped glands embedded on the dorsal surface of the thyroid gland in the neck, and it is going to secrete parathormone. Parathormone controls the calcium and phosphate ion in the body, and the hyposecretion leads to the tetany, that is stiffness of the bones, and hypersecretion, that is lesser secretion, led to the hollowness of the bone, that is osteoporosis. Osteoporosis means hollow bones. Bones are going to have the pores. Now comes to the thymus. Thymus is located in the front of the heart in the upper part of the sternum. Sternum is the main bone which connects the ribs in the thoracic cavity. It produces hormone that is thymosin. It helps in the maturation of T lymphocytes. T lymphocytes are the cells which are going to play vital role in the immunity. Always remember it is going to help in the maturation of immunity cells, that is T lymphocytes. Now comes to the pancreas. Pancreas is located below the stomach within the curve of the duodenum. It is both exocrine and endocrine in function. It secretes one of the hormone, that is insulin. Insulin is very very important hormone that is going to control the sugar level in the blood. If it is being secreted in a lesser amount, the person will become diabetic, and because of more sugar being present in the blood, because it is not going to be digested because of the lesser secretion of the insulin. So the hypersecretion of the insulin led to the diabetes. Adrenal gland. Adrenal gland is located at the top of the kidney. They are referred as suprarenal glands. Adrenal gland secreted adrenaline hormone. Adrenaline hormone is going to regulate the heart rate, breathing rate, blood pressure, carbohydrate metabolism, and the secretion, that is above secretion or the hyposecretion, will lead to the excitement in the body. It is also referred to the hormone of fight or flight. That is below level decreases the enthusiasm in the body, but hypersecretion, that's hyposecretion, led to the excitement in the body. So it prepares the body for the face to any sort of emergency or physical stress, like danger, anger, excitement, like any sort of adventurous condition. Now comes to the testes. Testes are exclusive for the male body. Testes are glands which are present only in males. Testes make male sex hormone, that is referred as testosterone. The function of the testosterone hormone is to control the development of the male sex organs and male features such as deeper voice, mustache, beard, and more body hairs. It is also going to help in the production of the sperms. Sperms are actually being produced in the testes only. Now comes to the ovaries. Ovaries are the gonads in the female and led to the production of the egg in the female body. Ovaries are the female sex organs that lie one on either side of the abdominal cavity. Ovaries produces two hormones, namely estrogen and progesterone. Estrogen is going to help in puberty by raising the feminine voice along with the soft skin. Progesterone is the hormone which is responsible for the control of menstrual cycle. Feedback mechanism. Feedback mechanism refers to the regulation of the hormone secretion, and it keeps going to be regulated. As you know, if there is more blood sugar in the blood, so more insulin is going to be secreted out, and when blood sugar level is going to be normal down, the insulin secretion will be lesser. So there is a feedback mechanism to control the secretion of the hormones from the gland. You can see here, if there is an increased level of glucose, then the cells of the pancreas are going to be activated, and there will be excess secretion of the insulin, and when the blood sugar level is going to be normal, there will be inhibition of the secretion of insulin, excessive insulin. So that's how feedback mechanism actually work. That's all for today. Thank you.